My name is Nicole. I'm currently a Master Sergeant Air Force Reserves. I served 15 years active Army. Actually, I met my husband on a train up for deployment out in California. My husband and I both were called to deploy to Bosnia. We were going to be going at the same time. I had just got stationed at Fort Hood. I didn't know a lot of people. So I contacted my mother. She was living in California and she moved to Texas, to Fort Hood, moved in, and she just kind of stepped in where we left off, and we both went off to Bosnia. We were on a convoy, and my young lieutenant decided that he needed to get out. And I was in a vehicle with him, and I said, "Hey, stay on the road, though," and he didn't. So we ended up having to patch him back together because in Bosnia they did a lot of those homemade mines were everywhere. From that moment on, I became a little detached, which of course I brought back into my family too. But I just, as a medic, to me, my survival was just to become detached and just be there and just not think, just go straight to step one, step two, step three, step four. And then you think about it afterwards, and then you can't even believe that you saw what you saw, or sometimes you don't even remember some of the things that you saw. I didn't realize at the time some of the impacts that were happening with my children. Not understanding that they did worry, that they did have an imagination about what kinds of things could be happening to us while we were away. My daughter kind of became withdrawn a lot. My son acted out a lot. What they tell me now is that they just feel like I was never there. And at that time, they didn't understand why we were never there. I began to see that some of those issues were like, wow, we are a dual military family. We are always gone. Somebody's always in harm's way. And that's stressful for anybody, no matter the age. I don't know if I can even put it into words. It's just, there are things about them that I simply just do not know. There are stories that they have that they can laugh about with my mom that I don't have that firsthand, knowledge of. After I had my last daughter, I had to go to Korea when she was 6 months old. And when I came back on my mid tour at the 6 month mark, she was a year. And she didn't know me. She wouldn't come to me, and I understood, but it was gut wrenching, very gut wrenching. I mean, I've never been afraid to get on a plane and go anywhere knowing I was going to get shot at, but that felt horrible. When I first got back, actually when I first got out of the Army active duty is when I started using the VA a lot. I was afraid. You hear, these horror stories, and I go in. The Texas VA system is awesome to me. I mean, I love it. They really listen. Being a medic, I would go in. I'd be like, okay, this is what's wrong with me, or this is what's going on. And they actually treated me like, okay, you're talking. I can work with you. Whatever it is that you need. I think the biggest challenge for me was just the new perspective that you have. Once you've gone once, subsequently you know that the same person is not going to come back. But the people you leave behind, they don't know that. They don't realize that, and they expect to be able to pick up right where you left off. And that's not the case. You bring back this perspective of the horror that people can do to each other, the living conditions that others, are in. And when you hear your girlfriend going off about her lip gloss is too shiny or she burnt the chicken, it's like, I know some people who would eat that chicken, and it just becomes irritating. And so you kind of back off a little bit, you don't want to be around people. I had to really look at that and kind of try to become a people person again. My issues kind of manifested in OCD, it's obsessive compulsive disorder. I have to do everything by task the same way all the time to make sure. It's just like, I got to make sure. I take the certain routes when I drive. Things around the house, the cleaning, the dishes. No one likes to put groceries away because I'm going to be mad when they're done, and nobody likes to put the dishes away because I'm going to be mad when they're done. So it made for an intimidating household after a while because it's like you could never do anything right with me. And everyone, the kids, my husband, felt that way. And I really took a while for me to, because to me it just made sense. But, my doc said, yeah, you probably got some OCD going on there. And she said, well, just try the medicine. And if it makes a difference, then we'll know. It's not like you can test for OCD, right? So I did. And actually, I've been being treated for about 3 years now. And I can tell the difference. I don't have to attack everything so much. I can sit back and go, okay, there's another way to skin that cat. I think the biggest thing was for me was not listening. Oh no, that's not it. What you're talking about. But when I actually sat down and started listening to the people who love me tell me, this is what you're doing. This is how this is coming out. This is what I think. And I was like, okay, when you listen to those voices that you're affecting, that you love, then you don't have any choice but to at least go find out. Is there a problem that can be, rectified? The VA and the professionals there, I've had nothing but success. I've had nothing but like a love and a personal, connection with the people who are treating. They really go out of their way. I mean, the phone calls, the letters, the everything. It's like they're really putting out that effort to say, hey, you're not alone. Come on in. Isolation it breeds fear. It breeds sadness. But if you take the opportunity to surround yourself with love, with understanding, with the people who really care about you, or people who relate to what it is that you are feeling, then only good can come from that. No one can do this alone. We went where we went as a team, as a platoon, as a squad, and we did it together. So the only way to overcome what we did together is to continue to work together to do that.